Hello, today I'm going to look at how to play, just a little sort of VOD of how to play flex support with a Mauga. So I'm Kiriko, I play the flex support for Lucky Charm, and my tank is the famous Meta 1 who's used to be the Sim OTP, now is the Mauga OTP. A lovely little thing, phrase right there. But yeah, so what I've talked to Meta about it, there's like a certain playstyle that sort of Kiriko and just Flexible has to play in general, um, compared to playing with any other tank, because like Mauga requires a lot of resources, so sort of managing that and sort of managing sort of how to use abilities is very important. So I'm just going to go through sort of my sort of thought processes for this match. This is a scrim versus a team. And I think there's the bans here. There was a Sim ban and maybe a Diva ban, or I can't remember exactly the bans too much, but I think we won this 3-2. But I'm just gonna go through sort of my process here. So just from start, main things is keeping Mauga above his armor threshold before engages, saving Suzu mostly for the Mauga if possible. And then just using TP to maybe go in with Mauga to Suzu. Because one thing I find is that if you're playing any distance between you and your Mauga and you need to Suzu, a lot of bullshit can happen between you throwing your Suzu and it get hitting, whether he runs, it hits someone from your team or something like that. So those are sort of things we'll sort of go over. So at the start, we're just waiting for point to unlock. So here, getting some early damaging and trying to keep Meta above his armor threshold. Trying to get a bit more poke in. Again, healing up. I hear a Tracer, I think it's behind me, so I'm looking to front forward a little bit. Meta walks up here. He's got he's used his shout now, so I know he needs to be ready for maybe a Suzu at some point here. Just playing cover as well. So because I use that Suzu there a bit selfishly, just because we sort of won the neutral we've got on the pick, and I know my tank is fine, so I just want to just live, right? I don't want to sort of get eliminated by that Tracer there. Capture point, then I can TP forward because I know it's safe. Unfortunately, and it doesn't survive. There's some shots, all good. We unfortunately died. Sorry, maybe if I sound like weird, a little bit ill. So what I like to do as well is sometimes instead of like looking for damage, I sometimes like to play corners and just do healing, just to ensure that I don't get random picked while healing, or like, because the damage I do is sort of inconsequential to keeping the sort of the healing. So sometimes I do that sort of stuff where I play a bit safer to get a little bit less damage. Here, I'm thinking, do I want to TP in at that point? But I was like, I'm just going to walk up because I know my Mauga's got shout and all that. So he goes for the slam. See that Suzu gets hit, and I'm just damaging. And then the Suzu's a little bit late. It hits me, but it doesn't hit Meta. So Suzu there, slam is really important, and it allows us to get the kill on the Mauga. And then we just managed to get some kills there as well. So here I think we're deciding to front up a little bit here, but they decided to go around the other side. So let's get through this. Just try and build my kit soon. Again, the hard thing is when playing with like DPS that require a lot of attention as well, like Torb and Vendetta, especially like hit scans or May or something, like not a Tracer, right? Like if you had a Tracer on your team, it requires a lot less care than your Torb. So yeah, so it's like deciding who to heal, right? So a lot of the time pre-fight, or like even during mid-fight, I was spending most of my time here. Even here, you could see like I'm only focused on meta. I mean, my DPS behind me and they're fine, but I'm just mainly focused on meta. So I matched the Kitsu to the cage. And you can see here, I go for this early Suzu, and you'd be thinking, what's the point of doing this early Suzu? He's full HP already, there's no point. So there's two reasons for that. One, when meta gets below, like when the Mauga gets below a certain HP, he can't recover it basically. So the key doing that Suzu keeps him in that armor threshold. And then the second thing it does is it stops their Mauga from healing off my Mauga as well, right? So if I just show you this from like their Mauga's POV. So he's already. So as soon as that Suzu comes through, he basically gets instantly exploded, right? Because he gets no healing. I know he's used the E sooner, but yeah. How far I got some girls. But yeah, so like Suzuing earlier on Mauga is in a lot of situations can be very good, so he doesn't get exploded. So they switched the comp onto the Sigma. I start the fight a little bit main, trying to see my Vendetta, but at this point I just try and TB forward again, trying to keep meta above that threshold. He goes for the run. I look for a Suzu over to try and make sure he doesn't get rocked. I think he gets booped slightly before the rock gets hit, but like that sort of Suzu who doesn't get stunned is really strong. Otherwise he might get melted. Yeah, he gets booped out of it, and then we beat. They counter beat. We just need to mix the space. I know here I don't need to be near my. Is this about living now? We've kind of lost the fight in a way, but again, Suzu basically instantly. I know he's like just half his P, but you sort of want to get him healed as fast as possible. And we managed to get some trades. So it's quite a simple playstyle, nothing too fancy. I'm not really playing much for like me. I mean, just looking to let my teammates carry in a way. I'm not taking any deep off angles. I'm just trying to play close. Here, meta runs in. I have to use Suzu on myself, which is unfortunate. Now I can't peek it, but I just try and pocket the ulti Vendetta, then I go back to pocketing meta. He manages to live, which is good. Now at this point here, there's no point shooting again, just let meta, we need to make sure he heals up, before, otherwise he can't go in. He goes in. Also just for perks wise, the speed perk is just the best, because speed on Mauga is really good, and then the other one's just for extra healing. Nothing too fancy there. I know I can't TP into Suzu there, so I just... No, it doesn't need healing, so just go for damage. Right. Again, I'm just trying to shoot. I should maybe Suzu here, but like the plan here was to like cage and force something. So ideally it would be we cage, we force rerun back, and I still have Suzu for the next fight. And we have enough time to sort of heal. I see Meta's running. I really want to be able to get a Suzu onto him, but instead, yeah, I decided here just to Suzu my DPS. I need it. It's a little bit risky, but I sort of calculated it because I was like, I kind of want to greed Suzu a bit there. Then I decide Kitsu is needed. Again, we're sort of winning the fight here, so I can greed Suzu again, and I can just take the duel everywhere now. I think we decided to go early here. This is a little unfortunate because I don't get the speed in. But what basically happens is I know I'm not going to be fast enough to walk in, and I don't want to TP on it or I'm dead. That's why I see my DPS to the side. So I TP to the side, and then I'm able to chuck a Suzu, and we're able to win the fight from there. And then we just try and get out alive, basically. Our Ven stays in a little too long, which is unfortunate, but we should be able to get point here. So again, so I mean, this was maybe a bit bad by me, but sort of like sometimes the Mauga takes attention, sometimes it doesn't. So like if you look at this, So I see there's like 3 people going to be looking at my Torb and he's below armor, whereas like I know Meta's just gone in with Slam and Shout, so I know he's gonna be 5 for at least a little bit. So I turn my attention to the Torb for a second, and then when Beat comes back, I can just go a bit more damage. I look for the run in, and I'm just playing this corner, and I can just see my Mauga is fine, basically, and we won that fight. And I can see it's in my Torb. So sometimes what can happen as well is you can have like a character like a Torb may act as the off tank of the comp, which takes attention, right? So in that situation, when the Torb takes attention from those 3 players, my Mauga's not in danger, so I turn my attention to healing out off tank, basically. I heal the Torb. So I'm basically just healing the tank in the situation where if the Torb is taking the attention, he becomes the tank in a way, and that means he doesn't need healing or as much as attention. Again, I do an early Suzu there. It's a bit of a shit. We have a bit of a shit engage overall. I just Suzu because he's like half HP. He used run to get in, but I kind of die for it, which is not great. So it's just it's just a bad macro from us. Not like I think the Suzu there was fine. It was like kind of needed. Otherwise he would die.
I don't give up that easily.
Yeah, it's just Suzu's to get out. Okay, we're just playing for Kitsu here. Just using my Mauga to farm that Kitsu. Farmed it. Trying not to take any poke free fight. We're going with the Kitsu. I know they've got Barrage. Wait, do they have Barrage? Yeah, I know they've got DPS ult, so I'm playing in cover. I'm not like walking forward, right? So I know I can play in cover here. And I placed the Kitsu in a way where it can cover both my backline and the point, so it's here. So like instead of like walking up to this point and Kitsu from here where I know I could get kind of blasted by the Pharaoh or Emery ult, I just play in like the safe position here, and can see my Mauga enough, and I'm basically just and then I've got the Suzu as soon as that barrage gets taken up. At this point it gets a little chaotic. Yeah, I don't really know what's happening a little bit. I kind of Suzu early here just because I think I'm in a little bit of a shit position and I just want to stay alive because sometimes you can get one shot by like an Emery or Pharaoh. I think this is like 12 minutes already, so we'll call it there. We lose the next points, solely because Arista gets the shield perk. We're just experimenting with the Torb a little bit, just having a little bit of fun. And yeah, it doesn't go well, so we probably sort of switched a couple of DPS. Yeah, but that's a sort of my sort of thought process when I'm playing with Mauga. I hope it's useful if you have a Mauga to play with.